final score, Swansea City 2, Wrexham 3. I'm just thinking, I should have gone to the toilet before recording this because it could be a long one as I enjoy every second of it. It's not going to be a podcast, it'll be more of a watch-along. I tell you what, that was just brilliant. Just brilliant. I mean, let's just put it all in context. A week and a half ago, we'd never beaten Swansea or Cardiff. I feel that has been comprehensively dealt with now, don't you think? Certainly Swansea hold no further fear for us as we've put them into the bottom half of the Adrian League, which again is astonishing. Before the season begun, an awful lot of people seemed to feel that they were the favourites to win the whole thing. They'd recruited well in the summer. They brought a few players in, looking players as well in January. Well, we plopped them into the bottom half of the table and maintained our 100% record of being in the top half, despite the fact that clearly standards have risen hugely across the division. So that's a superb achievement. There's something profoundly satisfying in the way we did it, of course, because after dropping 2 points at Cardiff Met, it looked over. But we've won 3 in a row. In fact, we are top of the form table at the moment in the division because we have been reeling off the wins. And yeah, as the ref blew the final whistle on the match at Swansea, that was the first moment of the season when we got into the top 4, the final moment of phase 1, and that's quite a fun way to do it as well, isn't it, really? I mean, the whole controversy about playing in midweek, I've gone through before. I've written blog posts on it. You can have a look at it if you want to. And yet Wrexham still managed to overcome adversity, and I think that says a lot about the character of this group of players. They have consistently shown that character all the way through, including when things have been going frustratingly. They won't give up, and they've got just reward. So the match, I mean, firstly, played on a pitch which didn't look great, and that very much was played in Swansea's hands. Swansea got some good players, please don't get me wrong, but they are a physical side as well. We were trying to move the ball around. Obviously, Liv Fuller was taken out by Amy Deacon when we played last time, so she wasn't there in midfield, and we really struggled in the first 20-25 minutes to get our passing going at all. There was no real hint in those early stages of what was to come, because we toiled a bit. We were under a lot of pressure. We defended well, I thought, but we weren't able to really get the ball out from our own defensive third very often. The ball was skipping about a bit, and like I said, Swansea had the capacity to power through, play direct balls and get physical and take advantage of that. Having said that, we had the first chance of the match, which came, well, in a build-up which I think did tell you something about how we would eventually get some joy out of Swansea, because Abby Iddington likes drifting off onto the right-hand side, and she was doing it really well, and it was exploiting Finn. She was getting caught up the pitch, the left-back, and so Wrexham were finding joy in the first half by knocking balls down the channels. Iddington was pulling wide into space anyway, intelligently. Suckley with her pace looking to just drive through the middle. So even though we were struggling a bit with our passing game, we still had an out ball that could cause Swansea problems. And Iddington pulling out into that position does really well, makes a bit of space for herself. Her cross is blocked, but ricochets into the box, and Amber Lightfoot's really unlucky. The defender lunges, sort of very peculiar diving header. The ball's so low you think she's going to kick it, but she dives at it, heads it into Lightfoot's path. She's close in, about 7 yards out, but it's just not fallen really within her range. She does well to stretch and get a volley on target, but there's no way she's going to get any pace on it. That seems to wake Swansea up. Within a minute, they have their first opportunity. This is Finch high up the pitch again, driving the ball really well from a good 25 yards out. It's well struck and it's going right in the corner. And Lizzie Craven does really well to get down to her right and just get enough hand on it to push it around the post. And it's the first of a number of moments where Craven will do extremely well. She does pretty well as well, to be honest, when Brooke Cairns plays a back pass to her, which is a little bit wider than she expected, and Craven does well to react and hack it clear, save it essentially with her right foot. But Wrexham start to get ourselves back into it a bit more. Now, Around 25 minutes, the game starts to ramp up. Until that point, like I said, Swansea, because of their physicality, were on top. They weren't making chances, really. Like I said, just that 125-yarder. We were struggling to pass the ball out from the back and really get our game going. But around 25 minutes, we started to. And that changed the game. We started feeding those balls forwards a bit more effectively. We started using Hendon a bit more. And we started to get our rhythm going. And the game really ramped up from that point onwards. It starts off with Brooke Cairns doing really well, winning the ball, feeding in Hendon. She looks to play a through pass and Lily Jones races onto it and scores. But she's given offside. I think it was accurate, to be fair. But unlucky. But it was a moment in which good work by Cairns, Hendon and Jones was starting to get beyond the strikers, opened Swansea up and showed the way. We kept pushing, and in the 32nd minute we got our reward. Hendon again on the right hand side where she's pulling Swansea out of shape. Looks to put the ball into the box. It ricochets off a defender to Lily Jones, driving into the edge of the area. She hits the ball well. Haynes, the keeper, goes down but pushes it straight back out in front of her, and Ava Suckley does it ever so well. If I believed in this phrase, and I don't really, because when people say it I think, well, is that really the reason? But I'm going to say it this time. It's a cliche, but she wanted it more. She gets there ahead of the defender, does really well, and lashes it in from close range. And Wrexham have a huge lead. And of course, it's crucial now. Hold on to that lead, turn this into a game where Swansea are having to go and chase the game. But unfortunately, 90-odd seconds later, it's 1-1. And this one is a sharp finish by Maisie Miller. Hosford taking a corner from the right-hand side. Suckley is marking Miller tight. Miller manages to get ball side of her, though, and looks to get off a shot. But the ball sort of jams between the two of them and drops very kindly in front of Miller, about 6 yards out. To be fair, though, she reacts very quickly, takes advantage and lifts it into the top right corner. Craven has got a cross and is blocking the goal. But that lift into the top corner means she has no chance, and Swansea are level. But we've got the bit between our teeth now. We're starting to get our game going. We're starting to pass it around well. Gibbard is anchoring that midfield two of Jones and Cairns, and they're starting to do those Jones and Cairns things. Jones is drilling the ball forwards, is making forwards runs. Cairns carrying it forwards, passing the ball well. Lightfoot is starting to get high up on the left-hand side. Cara Jones starts coming into it, and it's all just starting to coalesce a bit, and Swansea are on the back foot. And just like the game at the Rock, when we actually are able to get balls into their last third, their defence, which is lacking Nia Jones, who's, for me, their best player, is looking a bit rocky, to be honest. They don't look convincing, and Haynes in goal. Verity Jones was in goal for them in the 5-0 and the TNS defeat, and didn't have the happiest of times. Haynes comes back in, cuts a very impressive, imposing figure, but actually she didn't look as comfortable as she might have done, and possibly could have done better in the 39th minute when Wrexham take a 2-1 lead. And this is a great ball. I mean, it's similar in some ways, the build-up of it, to Max Cleworth putting Mo Farley against Peterborough. So I was hoping not to mention that game. Gibbard slotting from deep. A lovely ball down the right channel. Hendon is racing onto it. Defender does well to come across to cover. Hendon, beautiful. I mean, she's got such technique. Cuts inside from her right to her left foot. Dumps the defender on her backside as he slides past. And then takes the finish on her left foot. For me, Haynes needs to stand up better, and then she could save it. But she commits herself very early. To be fair, maybe that's Hendon's skill. She's not just sent the defender, she sent the keeper too. And the ball ricochets off her body and into the net, and Wrexham have got the lead. And at this point, it looks like we could push on and kill it off here, because we finished the first half extremely strongly. Within a minute of the goal, a great move through midfield. Suckley laying the ball off. Lily Jones out wide again to Hendon. She rips a nasty cross into the edge of the 6-yard box. Miller just about gets there first, but she can't really control it, and stretching, she sliced it just over her own bar. A couple of minutes later, another moment of danger. Katie Sharp, the nice ball over the top. Idendon is chasing it. Haynes has to come out of her goal to deal with it. She just gets there ahead of Idendon. Her header, though, is not strong. And, well, Amber Lightfoot, terribly unlucky. She's charging up in support. The ball is headed straight to her, but just, again, too high. Just like that volley was a bit too far away from it. The header is just too high, and there's not much pace on it either. She has to jump, and she's just about able to reach it and direct it towards goal. But, again, she has no chance of getting any power onto it. And as a result, the ball eventually is hacked clear. There's one more moment of danger for Wrexham as well in the last minute of the half. Cara Jones taking a corner, played into the near post. Swansea don't deal with it well. This will become relevant in the 90th minute, everybody. It's missed at the near post, goes across the face of the goal invitingly, but no one can get to it to tap it in, and Stacey John Davis has to launch the ball clear. So half-time, it's 2-1 to Wrexham. We are where we need to be because we need to win this to get into phase 2 and the top half. And we start the second half brightly, but in the 53rd minute, the first real moment of note is a Swansea equaliser. And it's Katie Hosford who heads it in from close range. It's all about the cross from Thomas. It's a fabulous cross from the right-hand side. She just drops it in beautifully at the far post. It's in the 6-yard box. It's a close range header. But Craven can't come for that. It's just been pinged into perfection onto Hosford's head. It's an easy-ish finish. To be fair to Hosford, I think she does well because she recognises Craven has got across her goal quickly and has got close to her. And there's a real danger, even though it's close in. Well, maybe because it's close in, if you try and head it, if you don't get on top of your header, you could put it over. But on the other hand, if she gets on top of the header, Craven has got across quickly, she might make a save. She does really well to control the header into that yard under the bar just to make sure that Craven can't get there, and equaliser, fair enough. But I've got to say, Swansea have certain ways, shall we say, how diplomatic can I be? Certain ways that don't endear them to me compared to the other sides in the Adran Premier, if I'm honest with you. And it's got to be said, they really, I don't want to say over-celebrate this, but there's 37 minutes left and they reacted like they'd scored in the last minute. Reacted, frankly, a bit more than us when we scored in the last minute. It's a real big celebration, and you can't stop looking at it and thinking, okay, the team need to look at this and think, all right, you think you've won this now, do you? You think that's it? Well, I think we did, because we come straight back at them. Within a minute, we have an opportunity. Amber Lightfoot doing well to feed it down the left. Lily Jones, typical stuff. It's very similar to a goal against TNS. Sorts her feet out neatly to cut inside and then looks to rip that shot over and around Haynes. It just dips a bit too early, and Haynes, going across to her left, is able to make the save. But we keep pushing on. This is a terrific response to conceding that goal. Like I said, that was a minute late, so that we have 2 more chances in the next 2 minutes as well. Clark feeding the ball down the left-hand side. Lily Jones drilling it. Oh, so Cara Jones, rather. Drilling in a great cross from the flank. Idendon making a really good run across the 6-yard box. Gets there first, makes contact, but can't wrap her foot around it enough and puts it wide, just wider than the near post. And then again, Lily Jones doing ever so well on the right-hand side. Ball goes for a throw. Great hustle by Jones while the Swansea players are organising themselves. She sprints across, takes a quick throw deep into the danger area. Lightfoot attacks it. Haynes attacks it. Defender manages to get a foot to it before those two and get it clear. Haynes carries through and hits Lightfoot hard. Lightfoot will have to go off eventually, and okay, it's a fair amount of time later, but I can't help feeling that this heavy knock may have played a part in the injury. My question is it a penalty? Nobody asked for it. I hasten to add, nobody asks for the penalty. But, I mean, I don't know. Keeper comes for the ball, low ball, commits massively, slams into striker. Is it a coming together, or is Lightfoot taken out? If I was inclined to, I could make a case for penalty for it, put it that way. But it doesn't seem to be even considered. and the game starts to calm itself down. 10 minutes later, Haynes nearly provides an assist, just knocking a long kick all the way through. Wrexham's defence will be disappointed in this. It bounces a couple of times, just skips right through the heart of our defence, and sits invitingly in the box. Stacey John Davis, fabulous pace, just bursts past our defenders, gets onto it in the left channel, one-on-one with the keeper, but Craven is equally good, really quick, comes tearing off her line, makes herself big. The shot ends up in the side netting and the ref gives a goal kick. I really don't think that was correct. It's a really good save by Craven, but who is so quick off a line and blocks it with her body and it deflects wide. Another cracking save by her. And then we're up the other end and we create a really good chance. Iddenden dropping deep and holding her up, working Clark into the game. Clark whipping in a good cross, and it's Cara Jones who meets it with a powerful header. It's a lovely cross in around the penalty spot, and Jones driving in, makes good contact, but just can't quite direct it. Keeper's beaten, goes wider than the near post. Then it's Swansea, and we have on hell of an escape. Just over 20 minutes left. Deacon laying it wide to Thomas, and she again, just like with the second goal, whips in a superb cross. Stacey John Davis has got goal side of him marker, unmarked 6 yards out, meets it with a great volley, sort of hitting it back the direction it came from, and an outstanding save, the best of a number of saves by Craven. Outstanding save. They'll get her left foot out and block it. The danger's not theirs. Deacon retrieves it just outside the 6 yard box on the right hand side, drills it straight back into the goal mouth. Craven again, brilliant, has managed to get up and lunge with her right foot this time to stop the ball getting through to John Davis, who would have had an open goal. The ball ricochets up in the air. John Davis, again, fair play, retrieves it, chasing backwards, it's dropping over her shoulder and executes a fabulous overhead kick which hits the bar and drops down loose. And it's still not over, because Hosford is there, hits the shot, and Nat Clark is there, block it on the line and get it clear. Hosford's in the 6 yard box. An unbelievable escape for us, but we do escape it, and Craven and Clark deserve huge credit, although you've got to have sympathy for Stacey John Davis, one of the few Swansea players who really lived up to their reputation in this match. She worked very, very hard to try and make goals happen, and it just wouldn't happen for her. A minute later, we get caught out again. Clark tackled by Deacon, who does really well, driving from left to right on the edge of the area to set herself up for a shot with a clear sight of goal, but then doesn't hit it that well, and Craven is able to save it fairly comfortably. Lily Jones, who you will remember took a right whack into her Achilles and limped through the first hour of the game against Swansea a week and a half ago, and when we went 3-0 up we were able to give her a break, has run herself into the ground. Like I said, against a physical team, there's a lot of late challenges and hard challenges, maybe more than late, coming in on her, and in the end she has to be taken off. She's limping around. I mean, she's put herself to the limit. So 14 minutes later she comes off and Rosie Hughes comes on, the very attack-minded move that Steve Dale has been favouring lately, where Ava Suckley will drop into midfield and you've got an extra player who's a striker really in that deeper position trying to get up and support Hughes and Iddenden up front. This is a period of the game where, if I'm honest, it looks like we're not going to do it. Swansea are wasting a lot of time and the referee's not doing anything about it. And if you listened to this podcast before, you know my position on that. I don't blame the players for that. If a referee's not going to act on time wasting, then, you know, a player's going to waste time. I would. If I think, oh, this referee's weak, I'm going to carry on wasting time and getting away with it. Of course I am. So I don't blame Swansea for that. There are a few tackles that are a bit on the edge, quite frankly. There's a lot of mouthing going on, and I think that at this period of the game, we get distracted by that. I think we're getting wound up by Swansea and we sort of fall for it a bit, and there's quite a bit of frustration with them, with the referee, which is understandable, but it's not helping us because we're getting wound up by all these things, and the minutes are ticking away, and we're not really getting our rhythm going. It's a fallow period of the game almost, this last 20 minutes, in which we're just counting down the clock. We're not creating chances. The draw is going to be that frustrating near miss. In fact, Swansea bring on Trevis up front, and she nearly puts us behind. Fabulous run by her right through the middle of our defence. Sharp is the last defender and tries to stop her in her tracks. Trevitt holds her off really, really well, and then drills in the shot. She's one-on-one with Craven. Craven saves it with her foot again. Great keeping, staying on her feet. Positioning is right. Forces Trevor to try and drive it into the corners, and then gets a good foot on it and gets it clear. But the game is drifting away. 3 minutes left, and Steve Dale decides he's going to change things around. So like I said, Lightfoot will come off. She had a good game, but I think that the knocks that she took maybe just took a little bit out of her. Rebecca Pritchard comes on, and then also Mary Gibbards is brought off. Karen Allen comes on, which allows Natalie Clark to step up into midfield. So it's just refreshing as much as anything else. Pritchard now, of course, in the right wing back position. Allen at the back. And, well, it proved to be decisive because 90th minute, here it comes. Cara Jones with the corner, right-hand side. We're desperately trying to wind ourselves up one last push. Jones drills it in. It falls for Erin Lovett. Erin Lovett! About 10 yards out, not usually somebody who's in the opposing penalty area that much. She drives in a powerful shot. Haynes gets down to it, but can only parry it, just like the first goal, straight back in the goal mouth. Bit more understandable this time because there are bodies between Lovett and the goalkeeper. It drops in the goal mouth, and Karen Allen suddenly finds herself presented with an open goal a yard out and launches it in with glee. These are proper celebrations now. But having got that lead, we've now got... Well, the referee indicated 4 minutes of added time. He actually adds on an extra 1.5 minutes on top of that. Not totally clear why. Because our celebration, actually, joyous though it is surprisingly brief. I've looked back on the footage. 40 seconds is all we take to celebrate this huge goal. I guess because, quite rightly, we're getting our heads back on and looking to get back and defend. And the goal's in the 90th minute, not added time. So, the restart is about 15 seconds into the added time, but he adds another minute and a half on. It's a bit of a strange one. Not sure where he got it from. Oh boy, Swansea go plenty close to getting the equaliser in added time and spoiling the party. Firstly, pardon me, it's a ball into the box. They're just looking to naturally pile it on now. John Davis, cutting down the right channel, suddenly finds that she's in on goal, drills it with power and height across Craven. Fabulous acrobatic save, getting her right hand up to push it away. Superb stop, but Hosford is running in to knock in the rebound, and Pritchard does really well to put enough onto her challenge and get in between Hosford and the goal that the ball dribbles into the goal mouth, and before someone can knock it in, Allen, again in the right place at the right time, launches it clear. Second minute of added time though, there is more problems as the centre-back Jess Williams has a little double bill at trying herself to spoil our party. A free kick on the halfway line pretty much. Well, a little bit close now, but not a good 40 yards out at least. Williams definitely goes for goal. Looking to catch Craven out. And it's a nasty one which skips just after it hits the ground beyond the defensive line and arrows inside the left corner. Craven has to get down and push the ball around the post for the corner, and that corner is whipped into the edge of the 6-yard box. Williams plants a powerful header against the bar and it bounces down. Another corner, Craven comes for it. Haynes has been up for all these set pieces. She spends no time in our box in her own in added time. Craven can only push it partly away, but luckily for Wrexham, Suckley is there, smashes it against the Swansea defender, and it ricochets wide for the goal kick. Swansea get one more free kick in midfield. One last chance to load it up. Like I said, we're approaching the 97th minute now. It's a poor one. driven in, nobody can attack it, it bounces behind, and the moment Craven's foot hits that ball for the goal kick, Wrexham hear the sweet sound of a final whistle, which marks a genuinely fantastic, historic result for the club. Superb. So, straight back on the treadmill. We are up against TNS at home. Interesting one. Beat them a couple of weeks ago. And actually, I've been doing a little bit of number crunching and realised that actually, if you make a table of the top four, we're not fourth. We'd be third. We'd be above TNS, who actually haven't got that many points off the top, and they've been ruthless. They're the best team in the division against the bottom four, but have not done so well against the top four. So let's have a little look and see what we can manage against them. Let's hope we can be positive and keep this momentum going, because this winning run is superb. And before I talk about the individual performances I talk about the individual performances, I've just got to say that coaching staff, I've consistently praised them, haven't I? Well, what terrific work they have done in so many ways. Not just, for me, the most important element, that preparatory tactical work and coaching work, but the conditioning for us to keep going again in a huge match like this, to be scoring late on and resisting late on. And in terms of just mental preparation, this team keeps getting blows and keeps being knocked down, just comes back up again. And the farce of going out there in midweek, well, clearly they didn't let their heads go down. They didn't let their heads go down in the last minute. They kept going. The wasted journey down at the weekend, but yeah, this team and the coaching staff deserve immense credit. And like I said at the start, when we dropped the points at Cardiff Met, a lot of people thought it was over. They didn't, and this is the reward. Outstanding stuff from Wrexham. Looking at the individual performances, then, player of the match is Lizzie Craven. She was outstanding, especially in the second half. But she made some fine saves, and I think when you contrast that with her scoring 2 goals off rebounds off their keeper, I think you understand even more the value of Craven in this match. Across the back, the defence did well. Katie Sharp in the middle, again, some really important interventions. It's fascinating, isn't it? She's such a strong central defender. She's so good at the central defendery things, attacking the ball, challenging, headers, interceptions, and she's had a couple of cracking games in a row against Swansea. Really done well. Either side of it, again, Erin Lovett was terrific against Swansea last time and did really well again. I thought, especially in the first half hour, when we were coming under more pressure than at any other point in the game, and she stood firm in the box and did some good defensive fundamentals, if you will, which I'm not intending to make sound like I'm being dismissive. I'm not. She really made sure that nothing was going to happen on her watch, on her part of the box. It was good work by her. Nat Clark was captain for the first time, and again was strong and solid. And that one little edgy moment when Trevitt managed to nick the ball off her, but that was it. She wasn't able to come forward as much as she normally does. She likes to step into midfield and influence the game, but like I said, I don't think the pitch helped much. It's a bobbly pitch, but she had authority and control, as she usually does, to be fair. Wing-backs. Right, on the right-hand side again, Cara Jones is effervescent and enthusiastic, and once we got through that tough early period, she was important, I thought. Just her energy on the right-hand side. She got good balls into the box. She got into decent positions in the centre sometimes as well, but she just was causing problems. Just issues for Finch when she's stepping up the pitch, and then Jones is there, and Iddenden's coming outside and Jones comes inside, and it's good movement, it's fluent, it's nice, but just in general, Jones will make the ball, I'm not saying make the ball stick up front. She's not an Iddenden holding the ball up, but it's more that she will not let the ball out. She will challenge for balls, whether it's a pass towards her or it's a Swansea player trying to use it, and just causes that issue, makes the ball stick down there, makes Swansea defenders work hard, and that was really good. Again, I don't want to sound disparaging by talking about effort. She had some good moments as well, put a couple of good crosses in. Good performance by her. Lightfoot as well on the left hand side showed a lot of quality. It was Didn't get as many crosses in as she can do, but again, she was watchful coming back when she had to be, in a really good shift again by Lightfoot. In the middle of midfield, Mary Gibbard did well, I thought, especially, again, another player who, when we were under pressure, made some important interventions, but her passing, not least that fabulous assist for Iddington's goal, was terrific. And in the second half, she's able to operate a bit higher up the pitch. And again, she was able to use the ball positively. Lily Jones, again, just unstoppable. I mean, she's clearly not 100%, but she plays like she is. And she has a big influence on the game. And she had more creative influence than any of the Swansea midfielders did. And as always, is never going to pull out of a challenge. So, yeah, Jones's ability to take the ball forwards or to run beyond when she hasn't got the ball, massive, massive factors in our success. Another good performance, and indeed Brooke Cairns as well. Brooke Cairns was in the middle of everything. She was in the battle. When it was cutting up nasty, she wasn't backing down. And yeah, she's got such character in midfield, and she really keeps things going. She drives other people along with her. She uses the ball intelligently as well, of course, whether it's passing or carrying it, and the pitch didn't help her with that. But she's still got, like I said, that street fighter approach, that roll your sleeves up and just make sure that if we can't get the ball and move it around because of the pitch, they're not going to get the ball moving it around because she's going to be on them straight away. So the midfield three again operated well. And then up front, well. I mean, Ava Suckley, bravo Ava Suckley. Again, it's just she never gives a centre-back a moment off. And her constant running in behind. I mean, she's really hassling and wearing down those centre-backs. She had some nice link-up play moments. She made a couple of good runs in the channels, which weren't quite hit, but nonetheless, she made those good runs. And when she dropped into midfield, she was still linking up and getting high up the pitch. Iddington was excellent. Again, if you listen to these, you know I'm a big fan of hers. Her technique's excellent. Her movement is really, really good. And she was just giving us that outlet and allowing us to build on the right-hand side. She was giving us a foothold in the Swansea half in spells where we were under pressure and needed the outlet. And she was a threat as well. Could have got that goal in the second half when she attacked the 6-yard box. Good performance by her. Rosie Hughes comes on, and yeah, she's not the player you want to see coming on in that situation, and she was, in the nicest possible sense, I mean, not in the nicest possible sense, because it's great, she was a right nuisance for the defenders, and indeed the goalkeeper Haynes, who didn't like it when Rosie flicked the ball after Haynes had dropped it to kick it, and shoved her over. Referee booked Hughes for this. Quite curious if you're able to look back on it and just explain to me why it's a yellow for Hughes and not a card for Haynes. It was a strange one, that. But anyway, yes, she occupied the defenders well, as always, driving forward. She always looks the threat. Other substitutions, well, Karen Allen came on and won the match. Have a look at her Twitter account, because her response to the Wrexham women's Twitter account's message when she scored is priceless. Her retweet of that is the tweet of the season, I reckon. Have a look at it. And yeah, she scored, and then she can roll her sleeves up and battle like heck. Makes that crucial clearance off the line a minute later. Great stuff from her. Rebecca Pritchard used the ball well in the short time she was on the pitch. More importantly, though, she used her body well to block off Hosford when she had an opportunity to equalise in added time. Huge credit to her for that. It was crucial. I promise you that was. And ultimately it was crucial, and Wrexham got exactly the result that we needed, and I've got to say, the result we deserve for what we've done this season. It's been different from last season when we were guaranteed top 4, it felt, after a couple of games. But wow, we lost the first 3 matches in a 14-match season, and we came back for more. Superb stuff. Absolutely brilliant. They stuck to their principles, and they got the reward. Incredibly satisfying. And if you are in the area, come to the 3 home games. I mean, you can't argue about the entertainment that we get in those matches. I assure you. 5-0, 1-0 in a derby, 7-1. We've had a 4-3 there as well this season. Those are just the last 3 results. It's fun down the Rock. come and join us. I'm a happy man. In the final score, Swansea City 2, Wrexham 3. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.